It's as simple as that. It's beautiful, and I thank you for it. And we'll come back and talk more about it in just a few minutes, okay?
Well, you're about to take the audience, when you're going to have me explain the math, you're going to take them on a ride through a black hole.
All right, we'll take a trip through a black hole in just a few minutes, all right?
But I'll hold your hand. I'll be glad to proceed.
All right, Marko, hang in there, okay?
Okay.
All right, everybody, it's Marko Rodin. You can find information about Marko on the web, www.rodinaerodynamics.org, and you can also find him at rodinmath, rodinmath.com, and you can also link directly there from MikeHagan.com. From here on out, you can always find Marko's site from my site, and if you go to the archives, you can listen to the previous program that Marko and I did together, and this one will be up there in the next day or so. So you can put those two together and put that in your pipe and smoke it. All right? Interesting, amazing stuff. My guest is Marko Rodin. You can find information about Marko on the web at www.rodin, aerodynamics.org, also at rodinmath.com, and you can always link directly to Marko's sites from my site at www.mikehagan.com. All right, let's get back to Marko and say thanks for sticking around. Marko's talking to us from Hawaii, by the way. What time is it, Marko? It's about 7:30, something like that? 8:30? What time is it?
Sun just went behind the volcano.
All right, that means 7:30.
Yeah, it's 7:30.
All right, well, are you on the Big Island?
Yeah, I'm on the Big Islands, and the Kokies are just starting to croak.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks for taking your Monday evening out, okay?
Yeah, I'm in Hilo.
You're in Hilo, all right. Now, okay, we were talking before the break. We're going to jump a little bit into the mathematics. Now, I want to preface this, and I want to ask a favor of you. We did a pretty thorough going over the mathematics in the first program that we did together. And for people who really want to, listen up and get into it, I suggest that they listen to that. I'd rather, and I hate to ask you to try to be brief, but there are a lot of things that have come up since then. There were a lot of questions that came up after the program in May. People who had questions that I want to try to get to later on, and I always know how quickly these shows go, even though it seems like we have a lot of time. So,
right.
So anyway, let's talk about the mathematics, and if you.
So you were inundated with things we're going to resolve tonight, and I'm inundated. My 5.5-year-old just came in here and slammed the door because she didn't like her chocolate ice cream.
Oh man!
Served, and I was, broadsided. It's telling me that her chocolate ice cream wasn't good.
What's your daughter's name?
That was Cloud. Cloud 9.
Cloud 9.
Yeah.
Tell her that she's lucky to have ice cream and to go back to bed.
It was organic. Best they had at the health food store.
Oh man, I'll tell you what, they're incorrigible. I have a 3-year-old boy, and I'll tell you what, when he doesn't like his ice cream, I hear about it too. So.
If they come in, I don't have my door locked because if I lock it, they'll beat it in.
Of course.
I'll try and I just point out and she leaves, but after she vents.
No, it's great actually. You weren't listening in for the first hour of the program, but I was sort of fed up with the constant killing and murder of children on this planet, and I just got really bent out of shape, and I decided that we were just going to dedicate the whole show to the kids anyway. So it's fitting that your children are busting in on you because that's where our attention really does need to lie, and that's what's so amazing but also frustrating about your work is that it offers potential escape hatches and lifeboats and whatever other metaphor you want to use for a lot of the difficulty that we're having right now on this planet, and that difficulty involves a whole lot of children. And the work that you're doing could help. So, anyway, I'm glad that the children are in your life too, Marko. It's a good thing.
I was talking to a friend who I always think of as, it's just amazing how far mine and most of our generations, how great the gap is between us all. She was, maybe you don't know this, but she was telling me when I was sharing some music from Jethro Tull, she was saying, she says, I always thought they were a small cult band. I said, no.
Oh, man.
I said, there wasn't a concert that didn't have hundreds of thousands of people, and wasn't, they had endless pop albums, and...
Oh, yeah, Ian Anderson, he was outrageous. He's one of the best flautists of all time, and I actually saw the band. I was a little bit too young when Jethro Tull really had their heyday, but I did catch the tail end, and I loved their early work. I just never saw it live.
The early work was...
Yeah, the early work was amazing. I just didn't get a chance to see it live.
Anyway, so I predict 10 years from now that the next generation's going to say, gee, I never knew that McDonald's wasn't all organic.
Yeah, let's hope, yeah.
They're going to be organic, and they're never going to know that we were boycotting them because of all their commercial junk.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. We'll have to see, the way history looks 20 years from now, because things really are changing, and there's a lot going on, and it's sort of hard to see it in the middle of it, I think, because it's so difficult on a day-to-day basis, to just observe. If you're awake and aware and a feeling human being, it's very difficult, to see everything that goes on this planet and not be deeply affected by it, So it's, I don't know, it's high time that some of these things get overturned and that we come up with some new solutions to some of these old problems instead of the same old stuff. So that's what we're trying to do with your work, and this is the amazing thing, is that we'll talk about the math, and let's do that right now, and then the implications and the applications, I want to spend a lot of time on that in a little while. Okay, Marko?
Sure.
All right, so 1, 2, 4, 8, 7. What comes after that?
Well, everybody always thinks that after 7 comes 8. Nobody knows that. And how we're doing it, it's very macabre. It would make Vincent Price delighted.
Yes, he'd giggle at the thoughts.
Yeah, because the number 5 comes after the number 7, using what is called single-digit math, discrete math. It's called digital root math.
Digital root math.
Yeah.
And you reduce a number.
Science.
You reduce a number or a series of numbers to their digital root.
Or more widely recognized as numerology.
Okay.
You'll take 7 doubled is 14, which equals 5. Because 1 plus 4 equals 5.
Okay.
It's called decimal parity. Now the audience will think, why am I screwing around with reducing large numbers to single digits? But I won't explain what my motive was, but the end result is that I was able to show that infinity is not only not infinity, infinite.
Susan's here.
Oh, thank you. That was my other daughter, Venus.
How many children do you have?
They're twins.
Oh, awesome.
5 and a half.
Huh.
I have 6 total.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, well, my hat just came further off to you, okay?
More. There's a flash, but I'm not going to take it.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't want to present my being as being undiscriminating.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I reduced numbers to single digits is I took the pattern of infinity, and I wanted to see if it actually made a pathway, if it made a trail, through which then I could glean or learn new information.
Now, do you mean the image of the infinity sign?
Yep, the lazy 8. It's called the lazy 8. When you take the figure 8 and lay it on its side.
Right. This is the international symbol for infinity.
Yeah, it's also called a Mobius.
Yes. That
shape actually is not arbitrary. Everybody thinks that, gee, that was invented by somebody, and it's